still view the lecture or the meeting in some other time. So this is the first lesson I have posted, and this is the actual R script that we have created yesterday. This is the copy of the lecture yesterday. I have uploaded it in my YouTube account, and this is a reference index of R. So this is a description, complete list of commands and terminologies of R. Okay, and actually during the first week of classes, some students requested for an environment for their mobile phone, because some of you don't have desktop computers at home. So you can download the app from this link, and you can still use your phone in doing the script. Or you can, that will allow you to input your R script and compile and run online. Okay, but if you don't have an internet or a mobile phone or a desktop, it will be very hard for you, because how can you do programming if that's the case? So siguro you can go to your classmate, lapit lang naman sa inyo, and you can share their computer, or siguro you can buy. Sorry, it will depend on the situation. The software that your program chair, Dr. Kahuday, asked me to teach you is BLAST. BLAST is a bioinformatics. Unfortunately, in our case, we cannot do that, because the BLAST software requires a Linux environment. When you say Linux, that's the operating system. Right now, we're using Windows. I'm using Windows 10. So probably some of you are also using Windows 7. The Linux is another platform. Examples of Linux are Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, FreeBSD. So those things, it might be complicated to you if we're going to use Linux. But if the university will allow us to use laboratory, I can ask the technician in charge to install Linux. And kung face-to-face yung discussion natin, I believe it will be easier. But right now, so we have no choice but to use Windows. R is a statistical software. Actually, one of the student in the other block asked me, ano ba yung kaibahan ng R sa SPSS? My answer, R is licensed. SPSS is statistical software which I consider to be an advanced Microsoft Excel. Okay, in computational biology. Your data like proteins, DNA sequence, it will be hard for a biologist to interpret the data if it's not going to use a software. So R is a tool that can visualize or create graphs about your biological data. That's why I am teaching you R. In the course description, it's actually R and Python, but I preferred using R first because R is easier compared to Python. Okay? So yeah. So here I also created a forum which is about the R and R Studio installation. I mentioned here, if you encounter problems in the installation process, please write the case problem. So your problem. So in your case, biology 3 students, only 1 student participated in the forum. So I assume that you were able to install the software without error. So ito lang siya. Okay, totoo ba yun na lahat kayo naka-install ng R without any error? Is it true?
Wala man po, sir,
Okay,
error.
that's good. Okay. So, okay. You can also message or contact me using, again, the LMS, using the chat feature. So here. So, to you, the chat feature of LMS, and here you can send a message or concerns about the course or clarifications about the topics. Yan. So in this case, John Reyes sent me a message on, yan, so John De Los Reyes is actually online. So pwede ito. So di ko hindi in Tagalog, Bicol, as long as we can understand each other. Okay? You might also ask, what's the difference between R and RStudio? R is the programming language. RStudio is a development environment. It's a graphical interface that will allow you to write R script easier and less complicated. Okay? Just like other programming language, like Java, Java is the programming language, but we use Eclipse or NetBeans to do Java coding. So, pakita ko naman. NetBeans. So, ito yung NetBeans. From its description, NetBeans is a language, it's RStudio. This is the development environment, and the programming language is R. Okay? So you might ask, can you do coding by just installing R? Yes, you can, but it's more complicated than doing the coding in RStudio. Okay? Yeah. So this is the RStudio development environment. Can you see my screen?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So the screen is divided, or the development environment is divided into 4 sub-windows. This one, this is the script window. Okay, that's the script window. This is the console window. This one is the global environment window. This is where you can see the memory that is, I mean the variables and your memory allocation of your R script. And this one is the navigation window. This is actually the directory structure of my computer. So I can see here my files, like that, and my folders. Part of this window is the help file. Okay. So if you want to read, do advanced reading about R, you can make use of this help file. This includes the documentation of R. Okay, so just click this home, and you can see here the full documentation of R and RStudio. Okay. Etong plots, this is where the graphical representation of the code when compiled is being displayed. Because in this subject, we will be creating pie chart, frame, tables, graph. So this is the window where those graphical representation is being displayed. So the script window, this basically from the name itself, this is the window where you type your script. Okay. So for example, print hello world. So that's where you type your script. And this one, the console window, this is where you see the output of your script when run or during runtime. So to run this simple script, we click the run link button. So there you go. The output of that is you print hello world. And you can clear your console by pressing Ctrl+L or clicking this button, the button that has a broom image on it. So click that. Okay. So ganyan. And you can change the font size of this environment if it's too small for you. So you just click tools, click global options, click appearance, and you can change the font. Yeah. Make it, let's say, 18. Yeah. So para mas malaki. Then you can save this file by clicking save. But one thing that you should remember here is that the file name extension should be .r. Okay, so I'll say sample.r, just like that. So this .r indicates that that file is an R script. I save it inside my documents and CompuBio. Okay, and we can close this. Close. Yan. So, want to open the file, open file, go to CompuBio. The file name is sample.r, and there you go. Okay? So, easy as that. Or you might ask, can we open this file using other program? Yes, you can. Let's say CompuBio R.R. You can use Notepad++ or other program. It's basically the same. However, if you're going to use Notepad++ or other programs, you will not be able to run the script. But you can view the source code. Okay? Okay. So, I guess some of you have viewed already the video lecture which I uploaded in my YouTube. So we can still I can still do the demonstration, pero my suggestion is if you have viewed it already, we'll just do the question and answer on this session, because I understand that some of you have limited mobile data, and a 1 hour online viewing or online session in Google Meet consumes around 840 to 2 gig of data. So baka maubusan tayo ng data if we exceed dun sa 1 hour. Time check is 5:22. So, kung nakita nyo na yung video lecture, we can just do question and answer. Kung hindi nyo pa nakita, I can still demonstrate the data types and how to assign value to a variable. So, anong gusto nyo? Should I demonstrate again the data types and variables, or question and answer na lang muna? Students? Hello?
Demonstrate na lang.
Demonstration na lang muna. Okay, sige. Okay. So, if this is the slide that I uploaded. So the title of the slide, the basics of R programming language. So R is an interpreted language, and it is used for graphics representation and reporting. Okay. So I highlighted here interpreted. So what does it mean? So in this environment, again, the console is where you can see the output. And actually, you can also type here your commands. For example, 5 plus 5, or 5 plus 4. So 10. So per line, the R programming language interpret your script. That's why it's called interpreted. In other programming language, you have to complete your script or your source code before you compile it. In R, once you press enter, the previous line is being interpreted by the programming language, the R. That's why it's called interpreted. Okay? So I'll show you sa source code in Java. So para maintindihan nyo. Kunyari dito. Java code. Okay. This is an example of a Java. Sorry. Open image. Yan. This is an example of a Java code or a JavaScript. So Java is not interpreted. So this is compiled first before it is run by the environment. So ibig sabihin yan, i-compile mo siya into one executable file before may execute. Kasi nga yung Java is not interpreted. But sa case ng R, it is interpreted. Okay? Okay. So next topic is about variables. Variables in R is basically a container. Then that container contains a value. The value can be a number, can be character, can be a byte, can be a complex data, or it can be even tables or matrices. So here in the example, x is equals to 5. This less than and dash sign means that you are assigning value to the variable x. Then the variable names are case sensitive, meaning the big letter X is not equal to small letter x. So that's another rule in R, that the variable names are case sensitive. So here, so I'll make this a comment. This what do you call it? This is a pound sign. The pound sign means that that line becomes a comment. When you say comment, it is not part of the source code or the script. It is just making a line a comment that it becomes a description of the line. This is a comment. So if I will run this, nothing will happen. Okay, I run this, nothing will happen. It shows the actual script, but there's no output. This is not the output. Okay, R just interpreted the line, pero it's not the output. Kasi yung output niya should be like this. This is the actual output. Okay. So again, this is a comment. Kapag comment siya, it's not part of the compilation of the script. Yan. So create a comment. Variable. So variable name can be any name, but the rule of thumb in programming, variable should be descriptive. It should describe what's the variable is all about. So, for example, you wanted to put a value on your number of shoes pairs that you have. So we use num shoes is equal to, say you have 5 pairs of shoes. Okay, so this is the variable name, and this is the assignment operator. This is the value. So if we run this, yan. And you can use print num shoes. So the output is 5. Okay. You might ask, what is this 1? That 1 means that that is the first element of a vector. Because in R, the output is treated as a vector. When you say vector, it is a data structure that it's a container that contains elements. Okay? So, sa ngayon, kung medyo komplikado sa inyo to, huwag nyo munang isipin yung 1 na yan. Basta importante, ito yung 5 na iintindihan nyo. Okay? So, let's say, you wanted to do some mathematical operation with your variable. So let's say the number of shoes pairs that your friend has is also, let's say, 3. So friend shoes is equals to P. Then total shoes, and total shoes. And so it's equals to num shoes plus f shoes. F shoes, num shoes plus t shoes is equals to plus num shoes. Tama ba spelling? Okay, ito muna. Okay. So the error here, object f shoes not found, because here we created a variable, we assigned value to that variable. The variable value is 3, but we did not run this kanina. Kasi again, R is interpreted. You should compile the R script line by line. So dito, ito yung cursor. I should run this. Then dito may cursor. I should run that. Okay, ganyan. So print T shoes. And so it's 8. It's 5 plus 3. Okay? Any questions? And this global invariant variable, if you can see this, values F shoes, num shoes, T shoes, or total shoes, pair of shoes, okay, is 3, 5, and 8. So this window shows the variable and its value. Actually, ito yung representation niya sa computer's memory. Okay? So, ganyan. And this, the data type of this variable, we can check that by using the class command. Let's say the num shoes. What is the data type of num shoes? So, you have that. So, it's numeric. Okay? So, going back to the slide, ito siya, the numeric variable. The numeric variable is a type of variable that can contain numeric values with fractional part or decimal point. So in the example, it can hold 5, 5.6, or 1005. So let's try the fractional part. So let's say height is equal to, say, 5.5. Then print height. So let's run this first. Run. So it's 5.5. So again, it's a type of variable that can hold numbers with fractional part. Next is logical. The logical data type is a type of data that can hold true or false values. So let's have an example. Are you invited? Let's say true. So print, are you invited? Run. Are you invited? Not on. Invited. Not. Wait. Sorry. Are you invited? Not on. Are you invited? Are you invited? Are you? Dun sa ano. Equals to true. Bakit? True. Ito to. Not found equals to true. Ay, sorry. Case sensitive kasi pala. Sorry. Ito pala yun. Sorry, sir. Wait a minute. Are you invited? Case sensitive pala. Are you invited? Okay. So, kanina, it generates an error. True not found, because this is what I used, the T, small letter R, and yan. Because again, R is case sensitive. So hindi niya naintindihan yung true na small letter yung R, U, and E. Yung naiintindihan niya yung true na ganito. Okay. So let's say, are you invited? Equals to false. So print, are you invited? Yan. So run and run. So this time, the variable are you invited, which is a logical data type of variable, becomes false. So what do you mean by that? Meaning, the value of the variable may change based on the user's input. Kanina true, ngayon pwede mo siyang gawin false. Again nga, the variable is like a container that can contain a value. When you change the value of that container, it overwrites the previous value. Okay? Next is integer. Integer, let's say, my number of, let's say you got a card during your birthday. Let's say num card is equals to, say, 3L. Print num card. Run. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung 3L, this makes the num card an integer whole number. So, how do we know that's in an integer? Using plus num card. So, it's an integer. Ito na, are you invited? Plus, are you invited? This is logical. So yung are you invited, since the value is true and false, the latest value is false, so still it's logical. In num card, it's an integer because of this L. So if you want your variable to be an integer, meaning a number that is a whole number without fractional part decimal point, you need to append L on the digit. So in this case, it's plus height. So it's a numeric. Okay? So ganyan. Next is complex. Complex is a type of variable that can contain a combination of numbers, symbols, and characters. So complex. My complex var is equal to 5 times E. Expected symbol plus 3. So yung X, ano niya na another variable. 3 my complex for. Tignan natin ha. May ibig sabihin, plus 3E. Yung E, probably yung E is a reserved word. From I. Yan. Okay. So, kanina, E is not working. Probably E is a reserved word in R. Pag reserved word kasi siya, you cannot use that as a variable name or a value. Kasi interpret niya na part to ng syntax namin. So, huwag mo itong gagamitin. So, class my complex var. So, it's a complex var data type. Okay? So, ganyan. So, you might ask, how do we know the purpose of this specific function or script? You can use help and type the command. So help print, just press enter. So ito na siya. Using this window, you will be able to show the documentation of that function. So ibig sabihin yung print command, print values. And this is a description. Print prints its argument and returns it invisibly by a visible X. It is a generic function, which means that the printing methods can be easily added for a new classes. Let's try help class to run. So object classes. Description. RAR possesses simple generic function mechanism which can be used for object-oriented style of programming. So this might be very complicated to you, but I'm telling you that this function is well documented, and you can use this command to show the documentation of that specific function or command. Pwede rin ganito, help. Ano ba ang purpose ng help? Help. So help came from the utils package, yung documentation niya. Help is the primary interface of help systems. Okay? So, ganyan. So, the next variable type is character. Character is a type of data that contains string or combinations of string and numbers as long as it's enclosed with double quotation. So for example, message. My message to you is happy coding. So run, print, message, run. So it's happy coding plus message. So it's a character. Okay? So that data type is a character. Next is row. Row is a type of data that shows the representation of the variable in terms of computer's memory allocation. So row, my raw data, or variable var is equals to it's car to row, car to row. Okay. Happy coding. Okay, then print my raw var. Okay, so you can see the happy coding representation in computer's memory in terms of bytes is 48, 61, 70, 79, 20, 63, 66F, 64, 69, 60, and 67. So that's the hexadecimal representation of row. So you might ask, is this relevant? Is this important? Yes, because proteins and biological sequence data is actually more complicated than this. That's why I'm showing you how these variables are being declared and used. So in this window, again, you can see your variables and its data and the data assigned to it. So that is about data type in R. Okay, so you have questions or clarifications?
Sir, may question po dun sa chat po.
Okay, sa chat. Okay. Okay, just yung wala po. Okay. Data is represented by one window be sorted to groups like separate values, options, site. Actually, okay. So, groups. Actually, hindi naman sinabi dito kung sorted siya by group or sequence. Kasi hindi naman important. Kasi when you declare a variable, you're basically allocating your computer's memory. Kung paano siya nag-allocate sa computer's memory is not anymore important as long as may allocation siya. Okay? Kasi yung computer's memory naman natin, if you can see this, Control-Alt-Delete, Task Manager. Ito siya. Yung computer's memory natin, in my case, I have 8 gig of computer's memory, 7.8 ang usable ko because I have a shared video card. So dito, as I assign and or create a variable and assign value to it, it allocates a it allocates space in the computer's memory. So kung naka-sequence siya or naka-group siya, actually hindi na importante as long as naka-allocate siya. Okay? What else? Sir, yung row po, yung dun po sa row, iba-iba po yung kalalabasan depends sa bytes sa laptop? Yes, iba-iba. I-try natin. Okay. Row. Tignan lang natin yung ano niya, yung value. Sorry. Ano nangyari? Copy, paste. Happy coding. Gawin lang natin itong I. Hindi. Kasi gawin natin na siya 1 bit difference. So, di ba yung A is 64, B is 65. So, ganyan. So, dapat yung binary representation niya, isa lang yung kaibahan. So, tingnan natin anong mangyayari. So, run. Print my raw var. So 48. Look at this. So, tingnan mo siya. Yung happy coding na A yung letter, tapos dito HBP coding, again yung difference nito sa ASCII equivalent is only 1. So dito pa siya 48, 61, dito 62. So everything else is the same. Okay? So anong ibig sabihin niyan? Bakit ganyan? So dito siya. ASCII code equivalent. Code A. Yung ASCII code A is 65. Yung ASCII code ng B is 66. Yung binary equivalent, isang bit lang dyan yung kaibahan niya. Yan. So sa binary. So parehas na parehas except this 1. 0 siya dito, 1 siya dyan. Okay? So, did I answer your question? Guys?
Sir, question po.
Okay.
Yung paggamit po ng equal sign tapos bracket sign, parehas lang po yun. Like for example, yung kanya yung pag-type mo po ng are you invited equals true. Parehas lang po ba yun ng are you invited bracket sign dash true?
Okay. Yes. Ano ba? In example ko kanina, happy coding, bracket sign. Wala namang bracket sign dito. Wala naman. Ito. Are you invited? No, tama. Okay. So, yung assignment operators are, matawag dyan, assignment operator. So, you can use this symbol or this symbol. But, since R have this, it's standard, the preferred assignment operator is this one. Okay? Sa Java, another programming language, it's equal sign. But since yung R, they wanted to be unique, parang gusto lang makilala sa ganyang syntax, they're preferring or they preferred using this one. Pero pwede mo naman gamitin to. Pero pag ganito, wow, R yan. Kasi ano siya, it's a distinction of the R programming from the programming language.
Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Does it matter when you put spaces dun sa scripts? Yes. Especially kung part siya ng isang equation. What else? Give some demonstration. R Studio is a calculator. This is also my example in the previous lecture. So when you type pi, pi is the 3.1416 value. Diba? So when you run that, so output is this. Say square root of number, that's 25. 25 is 5. Okay? So you might ask, where can we buy? Then run. So ito siya. These are called built-in constants. So dito sa help window, sabi dito na pi is a built-in constant. You might ask, memorize mo ba yan, sir, lahat? Of course not. Kung memorize ko yan, siguro naglalakad na ako dyan sa Legazpi ng walang damit. Kasi nakakaloko to. So in programming kasi, this is my rule. You don't have to memorize. Just be familiar, analyze the code and be familiar to it. Yung programming naman kasi, halos pare-paras lang naman siya. Magkakaiba lang yung okay. So, kung wala na ba? Yung iba na-disconnect na ata. So, kung wala na, I think no further questions, sir. Okay. So, thank you for attending my class. Good evening and see you soon next online session natin. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.